I would have never in a million years thought that this would happen, guys. Ever. The streak is actually over. It's over, y'all. The streak ended. Believe it. I will say that this Raw is a little bit different. Well, not really a little bit different. It's kind of a good. Okay, let's be real here. It's a semi decent continuation of what happened on Raw last week. It's not as huge as it was before, but I will say that it ended with a bang. Starting off with the opener, let's be real here. The promo that John Cena had with Paul Heyman trumped the promo that Triple H had with Stephanie. And you can kind of tell that Triple H probably wanted to upstage Cena in some way by having some kind of over the top promo with him and his wife, as well as a classic harassment coming from Jericho. And I'm not gonna lie, hearing Jericho make fun of Stephanie is something that never gets old. It really is. I mean, he pretty much brought out the classics, and it pretty much led to a match between him and Seth Rollins that night. And it was a pretty good match. Let's be real here. It was a pretty decent match, and I liked the way it ended. It didn't end cleanly, just like I expected it would be, and I'm kind of happy it didn't. It actually ended with the Wyatts becoming triumphant, which is good. You really want that kind of hype going into SummerSlam. So I think it was really done well. But the one thing that impressed me the most was the Divas. Yeah, sure. You end up having Naomi and Natalia go against Alicia Fox and Cameron. And we know that the feud between Cameron and Naomi is not completely over yet, which is great. But the one thing that made me happy was you got Naomi using a submission hold. We're finally getting divas using submissions. That's what makes me happy. You don't see divas using submission holds in the WWE, not a lot of them. So far, I know of is maybe four, and four divas so far that actually use submission holds, which is Natalia, now Naomi, and we got the two very prestigious, well not prestigious, but they're the ones that actually use submission holds the most, which happens to be Paige and AJ Lee. Now, going into Paige and AJ Lee, I will say this. It really does bother me with this whole ridiculous frenemy storyline, especially with Paige. It's the polar opposite of what her character was with NXT. I hate this frenemy storyline. I want the frenemy storyline to end because let's be real, AJ Lee is not benefiting from it, let alone cares about her friendship. Usually, frenemies are frenemies for a reason. One actually has something that the other one doesn't, and they come together in some kind of an alliance, but they're not friends. They don't trust each other, but they only trust each other to get the job done. These girls literally don't have that. They don't have anything like that in their storyline, let alone that they have decent chemistry in the ring. I will say that. But I will say they don't have anything that make them frenemies. And also with AJ Lee saying that I don't go behind your back and talk about you behind your back. I just come to your face like a woman. Are you kidding me? She played the whole Kitty storyline like it was like a high school storyline for her for most of her career. Do you really think that people that yeah, the whole WWE universe pretty much forgot everything that AJ Lee did. They would just focus on the fact that she's CM Punk's wife. That's it. Stupid CM Punk chants throughout the entire thing. Completely disrespected her promo and downgraded it a bit, in my opinion. But regardless, that promo is kind of stupid because we know exactly how her character was from the beginning of when she got started, when she turned from the beginning from when she turned heel on up to now. Come on, we know that's how she rolled. But besides all that, I'm hoping that the whole frenemy storyline ends and it's just getting really tiresome and old. But I will say that the Roman Reigns feud with Randy Orton is starting to heat up, and I am kind of interested to see exactly which way it's going to go. Now Randy Orton is becoming less whiny and actually becoming a lot more angry, and I'm hoping he becomes a legend killer again. But I highly doubt that's going to be it. He's going to pretty much be the stooge of Triple H for a little while longer. But I will say this. I did like the segment with Goldust and Stardust. I laugh every single time, especially when Stardust blows the gold inside of Goldust's mouth. It's absolutely hilarious. I can't stop laughing. But but it keep doing this stupid quest about the cosmic key. I have no idea what the cosmic key is. It's something bizarre that comes out of the mind of Goldust. But honestly, it's really, really great to watch that. It's straight up awesome to watch that. But I'm hoping that they perform more than do these ridiculous, bizarre segments. Seriously. Even though the segments are funny, I'm hoping that they do a little bit more than that. But the one thing that really got me was what they're going to do with the new Nation of Domination. That's what I'm calling them, because that's what they are. Three black guys that are fed up with the way that the WWE has been treating them. They've been stuck in mid-card for Lord knows how long, and they're tired of it. Hence the new Nation of Domination, except without the dashikis and the African and the whole African fight the power vibe that they had back in the 90s. But honestly, having them out there in a bunch of suits watching the three-man tag match was kind of off. Yeah, sure, Dolph Ziggler and the Usos versus The Miz and Ryback was a pretty great match to watch. But what are these guys doing sitting on the outside of the ring? It made sense if you were all champs. But the thing is that they're just sitting outside the ring watching these guys and not doing anything. Like, what is your purpose? Like, are you saying that, okay, we don't have to wait for our chance, we're gonna take it? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna sit there and we're gonna watch this match happen and do nothing. That's pretty much what they did. Like, if you literally have a bark, don't you want to have a huge bite behind it? And these guys aren't biting. They're not doing anything leading on up to SummerSlam. When are you gonna act? And what, you're trying to make it a secret? The thing is, with the Nexus, the one thing I loved about the Nexus was the fact that when the Nexus said that they're going to take it, they're going to take it. If they're going to take you down, they take you down. And that's what they did. And that's what people liked the Nexus as a whole. And that's why it was so powerful during that time. But these guys are doing nothing. They're just sitting there like a bunch of bumps on a log, waiting for their particular moment to happen diabolically. And you have no idea whether or not they're going to be heels or faces. They're just sitting there. Yeah. Please. New Nation of Domination, my butt. But anyway, we end up getting to pretty much the main segment of the night. The overall main event, in my opinion, was Stephanie and Brie's confrontation. Now, I love the way it ended. It was boring from the very beginning and very confusing at that, because they pretty much censored Brie for the last few episodes of Raw and SmackDown. They censored her saying the B word more times than I can count, and they didn't censor John Cena not one doggone time. And I'm like, y'all make up your mind whether or not you're going to hit that censor button, that relay button, or you're going to allow it to happen. And shoot, Brie ended up like straight up saying it at least 3 or 4 times. What are y'all trying to do? There's a relay button, y'all. You know there's a relay button. If you have the problem with her saying the B word, hit the relay button. Stop trying to tease us like y'all trying to bring back the Attitude Era, which you're not. And stop trying to tease us while you're trying to make it edgy, which you're not. So let's be real here. Stop it. It's getting old. But besides all that, of course, Stephanie would try her best to cry as hard as she can with whatever plastic surgery was done on her face. But besides all that, it ended like a McMahon would end it. The fact that she literally just said that she was just going to make her, well, y'all heard that. But either or, it ended in a really good way with Stephanie coming out as Stephanie McMahon. And I love that. There are times that chick annoys me, but I will say this. She's a darn good heel. She is an awesome heel. Seriously, straight up. And the way that she ended it with Brie was a classic moment for me. It really, really, really was. But I will say that the SummerSlam card is starting to really set up pretty quickly. And actually, it's going to be some pretty good matches. But the one thing that kind of concerns me is that will this Stephanie versus Brie feud go flat? And they really can't afford to go flat. The Divas division is already flat on its back, no pun intended. But I really do believe that they need to make this match spectacular in order to have people literally watch them and care. But my overall thoughts of Raw was this. The Raw really wasn't that bad. There were a few moments that I was like, huh? And there were a few moments I was like, yeah, that will actually work. The matches were fairly decent. But there were just some things that get on my nerves, like the whole frenemies angle. But I really do believe that they're trying to build up SummerSlam to be decent because let's face it, they really can't afford it. They're losing a lot of money off of the network, and they need to find a way to actually build themselves back up again. So I really think that they're going to do well with SummerSlam, and actually, it's going to be a pretty decent card. And I'm kind of interested to watch it this time, and I really think that it's going to be a really great SummerSlam. But guys, I want to hear your overall thoughts of Raw. Leave a comment in the comment section below and send me a video response on how you personally feel about Raw and what you would do to actually change it if you think that it was terrible. But honestly, y'all, I don't think it was a pretty bad Raw. It was fairly decent, and I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen on SummerSlam. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. Later.